Hey
What's
man,
up, man?
what's going on? How you doing?
I'm chilling. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. So you got a huge fight coming up, man. What has you excited? Looking forward to it?
Dude, I'm pumped. I'm so pumped for this right now.
That's good. That's great.
I'm loving it. It's giving me something to wake up in the morning. Like I'm excited. Just hop in my car, get to the gym, and put a
Yeah.
bunch of work in.
So it's perfect. I was gonna ask. One of my first questions was gonna be, what's training like for you on when you're in fight camp? What's training like outside of fight camp and when you're in fight camp?
Uh, I don't really do, I guess you would say camps so much because I like to train every day.
Yeah.
It's just something I'm passionate about, something like if I don't have it in my life, I feel lost, like I need something else to do, something to get all this energy out.
Yeah.
I guess the big difference between camp and not camp would be my diet and how many practices I get to. Like if I'm not in camp, I still practice every single day, most days, 2 a days. But I won't, push it that extra road work or extra time getting to the gym when I'm super sore.
Right.
I'll take a day off if I need to like recover. But when it's game time and I have a contract and I'm ready to go, like I'm finding every reason to be
Yeah.
in the gym. Like, what can I work on? What makes me nervous? What do I think that someone sees as a opening, something I can fix?
Right. So how did you first get into martial arts? I know you played baseball and football a little bit, but um, what was your first steps towards being a fighter?
So I guess the first thing that made me want to be a fighter is way back in like seventh grade when I transferred to public school and I got beat up one time before football practice because I told people, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be a fighter. And then me and this kid got into a fight. He beat me up. And then after that, I was like, I need to start wrestling. I found a gym close, and
Yeah.
then I ended up fighting kids in high school. Like after school, we would meet up and we'd be friends, but like we just meet up after class and just have it out. And then I
Right.
think once I graduated high school, or even right before I graduated high school, I found a gym where I really like took the actual steps. Like I found a coach, I got involved.
Right.
And then when I moved to college, I moved closer to Pittsburgh, and that's when I took my first amateur MMA fight. My entire MMA amateur career was through college. So around my senior year, freshman year of college is when I really started diving into it.
Nice. So what are outside of fighting? What are some things that you kind of enjoy doing? That isn't any combat sport, like no jiu-jitsu or boxing or anything like that.
I like hanging out with my dogs. I got two beautiful dogs. I got a German Shepherd and a Pit
Oh,
Boxer mix.
I love German
Uh,
shepherds.
Me and them, my girl, we moved to Colorado, so like we love to go hiking.
Nice.
Anything outdoors. I love to fish. Just anything outdoors, anything creative. I'm always throwing a baseball. I'm always playing basketball with my buddy.
Right.
Like I'm always down to do something.
Yeah. Colorado's a perfect place for that too.
Oh, dude, it's
I mean,
beautiful. It's
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
I wanna go to Colorado sometime. Oh, I
Oh,
love
you
it.
got to,
I
man. You
know. I
got
know.
to.
Yeah.
Because like my first plan was to move to Florida because I have
Yeah.
a bunch of friends who train in Florida.
Yeah.
But I took a chance out here because like if I didn't like it, I could always leave.
Right.
But I got here and I fell in love with it.
Really.
It's hard to. I went back for Thanksgiving to Pennsylvania and I was like, I need to go back to Colorado. I just love it out here.
Yeah. So you had a decent layoff from, I believe it was 2018, right? Near the end of
Yeah.
2018 because of just some injuries, some stuff. But you've come back and you've had two huge knockouts. Do you think the layoff kind of maybe mentally just like cleared you and you've come back and you feel better, or is it the same, or what emotions do you feel like anything's changed?
Um, I'd say some things changed and some things didn't change. I went through a whole entire cycle of emotions in those years off because going through injuries, moving to across the country to a different gym, you have a learning curve you have to get over. There was a point where I was kind of nervous if I'd ever be back to doing this because I've sacrificed so much to do it, and having those injuries, just one after the other, and then coronavirus even impacted it. But nothing much has changed. I'm more focused, I guess I would say. Like, I'm actually treating this like a profession instead of, when I was in college, I was doing it because I loved it,
Yeah.
and I still love it. Like, every day I love it, but I just want to make up for lost time, like I know that I don't have a long time in this sport. No one does, so I want to make the most of it. I want to get the most out of it, and I don't want to waste any more time. Like, I remember there was days a while ago where I'd look at the clock and I'd be like, oh, how much longer do we have at practice? Oh, this is a tough practice. Like, I don't even stare at the clock anymore because I'm scared that I'm going to run out of time. You know, like, we only have a certain number of hours in a day to do anything. And this is all going to be gone like that. So I want to get the most out of it.
So do you feel like 2021 you're going to try and, make the best use of the time that you have, and you fight is not pushing it obviously, but as frequent as you feel like you're able to?
Yeah, I want to, my main goal, I want to be healthy. I want to stay healthy. I want to get in, have a good showing, get out, stay healthy, and fight, the next month if I can, 2 months from now if I can, I have a lot of time. I feel like I need to make up, and I just want to go. Just want to keep going.
Well, with the way you've been fighting recently, I mean, you could probably fight 12 times in a year, man.
Let's hope so.
So do you feel like with this Oliveira fight, like he's just coming off, a contender series where, he could have gotten a UFC contract. It didn't go his way. But do you feel like this is the biggest challenge of your career so far?
Oh, yeah, easily. This is going to be the biggest test of my career to this date, and I've went through that before, like coming up in the ranks back in Pittsburgh. Like, I would have a couple fights, string couple fights in a row, and then I'd go up a level in competition, and I'd test myself. And, my last fight in Pittsburgh with Travis Davis was one of those, like, he was a tough dude, number one guy in Ohio. And, I tested myself. I learned a lot about myself in that fight. I came out on top. Very fortunate about that. And I'm excited for this one because this is going to be, I want to say, a coming out party for my stand-up, because this guy is legitimate in his stand-up. He's very good, and I welcome that challenge because I want to show people that I'm just as good, if not better.
Do you feel like with a win here, you could potentially get a contract or a contender series fight, or is that something that you want to wait for, or do you think you're ready for that?
I mean, I have, people in my ear telling me different things, like it could be, it could not, it couldn't be, I'm in no rush, like, I know I'm going to get there. I know I'm going to get there. I believe it, that no matter what, I will end up in the UFC. But if it's not after this fight, that's okay. I'll just take on another challenge, and I'll prove myself again. Because when I get there, I don't want it to be a two and done thing. Like, there's a lot of people who rush to get there. They're in for 2 fights, they lose, or they go 1-1, and they're scrapped. Like, I want to make a career out of this. So if they don't think I'm ready, all right, I'll just go out and show them that I'm ready the next fight,
Right. So speaking of the UFC, kind of moving towards that, would you say your favorite fighter to watch? I'm assuming you watch the UFC.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
I guess right now, in this moment, I would say, obviously, Adesanya is one of my favorites. I've watched him throughout college. Like, I've watched him on Instagram when he was a kickboxer the entire time. I'm a huge fan of him. Yeah. Big fan of Stipe. Like, I've trained with Stipe before. I love the guy. For the smaller weights, I'm a huge Max Bless fan. Like, love Holloway. Love that dude. I'm a big fan of fighting anywhere. Like Devontae Smith. Like, I can't wait for him to come back, have his fight this year. Like, I'm just a huge fan of that dude, so I'm excited. There's a bunch of guys.
Nice. So for you then, what is your dream matchup for you? It could be anyone. If you could go back in time and fight any person, or it could be present, just anyone in MMA history that you could fight, who would it be? It's a tough question.
I would definitely want to fight Adesanya just because of, who he is, like, who wouldn't want to test himself against him. I'm a big fan of Chris Weidman, so I would love to, take my chance there, see how that happens. But Chris Weidman and Adesanya for sure.
They're both two
killers,
guys that,
man.
Yeah,
Killers.
yeah. Okay, great. So then, who do you think the goat is? You know, the goat
Oh,
of
the
MMA.
GOAT? John Jones. Easy. John
Good.
Jones, I mean, I know like George St. Pierre is obviously up there. Like that's a no-brainer. But pound for pound, the GOAT has to be John Jones. Like Demetrius Johnson is obviously up there. Khabib is obviously there. But me personally, it's John Jones.
I think so too.
And
A lot of people I've talked to, a lot of people say like Khabib, and then I think a lot of people have been saying Khabib just because of recency bias, you know, just because he
yeah,
just won, and
yeah,
but uh, the resume of John Jones is just
it's
it's crazy,
unbelievable.
it's unbelievable, and
Yeah,
people
and
forget
he's
go ahead.
finished fights in every different way possible. You
Right,
know,
I know,
like nothing against Khabib. If it works, it works. But like it's
right.
the same recipe every time.
Mm,
MMA is a mixture of everything. So he's shown that he can finish you submission, knockout. He can go the distance, go all 5 rounds. Like he's won every which way. So
right.
to me, that's the goat.
Dang. Well, hey man, I appreciate you doing this. This has been really fun. I'm super excited to see what 2021 looks like for you.
Appreciate
Hopefully,
that.
get a lot of fights, a lot of wins. Maybe get that UFC contract, and
Maybe.
yeah, hey, you got a big fan here, so you know. All right,
Hey, thanks, man.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. You have a good one.